Greetings and welcome back, pilgrims. This is Ian, and I am back with the crafting MMO from Paradox Interactive, Salem. This is the beta of Salem, and I'm just kind of showing you the early ropes so that instead of spending a few hours sorting out how to get everything up and running with your Salem character, you can spend a few minutes with my droning Micro Machines type voice. So let's go for it. Let's see here. We are headed out into the wilderness, which, as I mentioned in the previous episode where we learned about the interface and the early things that you sort of can't do with the town, is not any risk at all. We can just wander right out into the wilderness, and we can always get back by using the adventure, travel, and to Boston button. We're not going to do that now because it would be a waste of our time. So what we're doing here is we're basically looking for items. There are no immediate combat hazards in the wilderness, at least not this close to Boston. So, Bastion, that is. So what we're looking for is various types of items on the ground. And, of course, later we'll all be able to interact with more objects in the environment. For instance, later on we'll acquire a skill that will allow us to take branches and leaves from the trees and what have you. This is some autumn grass. This is one of the items that you can get with a completely new character. And I'll try to enumerate those ones, but before I get into a great deal on that, let's talk about the basic types of items. Most items are a material, meaning they can be used in a crafting recipe. By the way, I'm just right-clicking and selecting pick on the items that I want to take up off the ground there. So most of them can be used in a crafting recipe of some sort or otherwise a component in something else. But some of the items in the game are also food items, meaning that you can replenish various stats, any of the four humors, in various quantities. For instance, milkweed root is a food. And as you see there under heals, it says 0, 3.1, 0, and 0. So that's going to heal one of the stats by a degree of 3.1. And the rest it won't heal to that degree, to any degree at all. And it's neat because if you have depleted, the stat you will see as you hover over a food, it will actually ghost in how much it's going to restore for you. So it gives a little visualization of what's going to happen there. Okay, so those are food items. You're going to need those to replenish your black bile in order to continue studying. Later, when there's combat, you'll need to replenish your health. But for most part, in the early game, you're going to be concerned with your black bile and your phlegm, because your phlegm, of course, is your vigor, and you're going to expend that when you're crafting and doing things of that nature. So important to keep those in mind. I'm at full on everything right now. So that's food. Now, there's also study items. And I am looking for the first study item that's accessible to new players right now. It's called the Smooth Stone, and it's bright, rounded stone that sits on the ground. There's also big rocks that sit on the ground, and I believe you need a skill, but you can chip rock. You can chip bits. You can chip bits of stone off of those rocks naturally, and you can also find flint on the ground, which is used in some other crafting recipes. But for right now, smooth stone is where it's at. We're going to look for that. All right. At long last, a smooth stone has been discovered. All right. So that's what a smooth stone looks like. And what? Why does it say pick leaves? Let's get serious here. We need to pick that up. Wonder how we ended up getting pick leaves. Where's pick leaves at? I don't know what's going on with the pick leaves. All right, well, that's beside the point. What we got to do now is learn about the smooth stone. So let's open up the studying interface here. And as I pointed out before, under Frontier and Wilderness and Hunting and Gathering, we have some red bars. Those red bars are targets. They're basically the cost of increasing or of purchasing the survival skills skill. So if we hover over the smooth stone, we'll see that it fills up all of those bars to the degree indicated by the yellow. So it won't completely fill up Hunting and Gathering, but it will fill it up more than the red. Same thing with Frontier and Wilderness, Arts and Crafts, and so forth. Importantly, it completely fills the Frontier and Wilderness bars. That's going to be key for something I'm going to teach you guys later on. But for now, what we want to do is just go ahead and right-click that bad boy and study. We're going to get some gray bars indicating how much these are going to be filled. We're going to get some blue bars showing the progress of filling them up. Also, you're going to notice that the black bile is decreasing now. You'll see it's down from 5.0 to 4.8. It's going to continue to decrease as long as we're studying. And that is similar to the way phlegm works when you're doing a skill, when you're building something, crafting something, basically anything that involves executing a skill. So I'm going to continue to look around for another smooth stone. Over there, there's some flint in that corridor there. And see if I can't get another one so I can demonstrate another important skill progression mechanic in this game. So I will be back, and we shall explore that and look at the results of our first smooth stone study session. Ahoy! I spy another smooth stone. Most excellent. All right. This is one. I am one happy pilgrim now. Okay, so I'm going to pick that up. Sorry, I've now got another smooth stone in my inventory, but let's take a look at the situation with my skills here. All right, so I have studied up on the various things that I can study from the first smooth stone, and you'll notice that this bar has turned green. Why is this bar turned green? Well, if you want the answer to that mystery, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, because what we're going to do first is actually purchase a survival skill. And what you'll see here is that it is in white. When it is something that you can possibly learn at your stage in the game, it will be in yellow, indicating that you need to do some stuff and then you can learn this. But there is also a situation where skills appear in red. And if they appear in red, then you'll need to increase one of these stats in order to purchase it. So I'll explain that in more detail later. Now I'm going to buy this survival skill, and you're going to see something interesting. So you see the red bars indicate where the requirements are, but it also filled up several other bars in the process. Basically, it's just, this is what you can learn by studying a smooth stone. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that, and you'll notice that it's reset all of these. Well, that's interesting. So why did it reset all of those? That's how the system works. Basically, you've got to trade off carefully between things that you need and the total yield of any item, whether it's a foodstuff or a study item, because the yield may be greater than the value of learning that skill with that item. You might want to hang on to a particular item that has a very high skill yield in order to be more efficient with your resources. On the other hand, if you just need to learn something really, really fast, then you might use a high yield item and just get the job done. You'll also notice that the black bile was depleted down to 3.0, and we have access to some new skills here. So these are the sort of next tier of items. You'll notice that they all require different combinations of skills in order to learn them. Interestingly, the smooth stone does not provide you with either of the skill values that you need in order to increase self-defense. So it'll be up to you to figure out what study item will let you do that in the future. And same thing with the other skills here, and as the skill progression system goes on. The other thing I want to do, well, first, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and study this smooth stone here so that I can show you about increasing skill values. And while that's going on, let's take a look at what our new abilities are over here in the quick command menu. Now, it's important to always check the world when you add a skill to your collection. You basically want to right-click on stuff that you have tried before but didn't do anything, and you also want to check all your quick commands. So you'll notice that if I right-click here, now I can pick a branch off this tree. Well, I couldn't do that before. Later skills will allow me to take leaves off the tree and basically harvest the environment for more items and more powerful, or basically more productive items. So over here, we've now got the ability to build a pile of wood. And we'd actually do that using branches from the tree, so we can do that in a second. And we also have the ability to build different types of clothing, equipment, and weapons, food, inspirationals. These are study items that you can craft, craftable study items, hay, and tinder drills. We'll actually need a tinder drill if we want to light a fire at some point. I don't think we're going to go that far in this video, but since it's convenient to our situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video right now, and in the next video I'm going to show you how to increase that skill value to the next level and explain what the implications of that are, and I'm also going to show you how to build a fire. Cheers.